singing that?
I don't know.
Distracting.
Genie. Alright, so I'm going to do a little like gas up, little interview type summary of you. Gotcha. Then you can give a little bit of yourself. But like, so me and Joe, we went to high school together. Joe, aka Bogini, might refer to him a lot as that, so just so that you know who I'm talking about. Me and Bo, Jesus, a lot of nicknames. But like, we were on like the baseball team. We did a lot of winter workouts together. Like, Joe is sort of like the backbone of my fundamental, like, lifting world. Like, you and me were always partners, dude. Like, even before, like, fucking puberty, you and me were, like, partners. So it was just crazy. Like, Joe was just an absolute dog. Okay? Savage. And now, Joe has turned that dog mentality into his own social media brand and everything that encompasses it. It's pretty cool. And actually, like, I haven't really told you this, but like watching your TikToks and Instagram and all that stuff, like kind of gave me inspiration to kind of go out there and try my own thing. So
that's awesome.
Without further ado, give a little intro to yourself, maybe like where you're at in life now, sort of explain what that whole social media vibe is.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm Joseph Bonini, or any of the nicknames that Nick's going to refer to me as.
Definitely never Joseph.
Definitely never Joseph. It's either Joe, Bo, Boji, whatever it is. But yeah, like Nick said, we in high school kind of just met each other, played baseball. Nick tried to get me to play football, but we'd work out after school every single day, sometimes twice a day, and it was just awesome, just pushing each other and stuff like that.
First of all, it was mostly you pushing me. Like
I guess it was a little both, I would say. Whenever one of us was slacking, or whenever I was slacking, or whatever, you'd say like, pick it the fuck up, or something like that, like just getting
usually
each other.
Something extreme.
Usually something extreme, just to get the most out of like each other, which is good. That's kind of what you need to do, and push each other. So yeah, right now like Nick said, I kind of got into social media. I guess started taking it a bit more serious in the past like couple years, just trying to build out a personal brand. Honestly, when I started, like not even really knowing what I was doing or anything like that, because where we are from and like in our area and everything, like social media is just like, it's not very common. Like no one understands it. All the kids our age would like kind of make fun of it. Like what, like, you know, they make fun of the whole influencer type thing and everything. And so I just started posting. I just started, posting my fitness stuff, working out and everything, just kind of mindlessly. Like there was no goal to it or anything. And so the fact that Nick's like, maybe I'll give it a shot too. That's pretty cool to hear you say, actually. So I appreciate that. And I think like, you just have to like get into it and start doing it, because like, you can think about it and just think about how like, oh, it's just not normalized around here. Like if I do it, everyone's going to look at me like I have 3 fucking heads. But once you start getting into it and you kind of find your own, like, this is actually fun, like, and just make it your own thing. Yeah.
Like, I know what you mean by like the whole like fun thing. Like when I think about this podcast and stuff, and like, so like obviously in the beginning for me, I don't know about you, but like for me, going out there and making this podcast, I was like nervous as hell.
Yeah.
Like, how are people going to feel about this? But like now, it's just like, yo, somebody wants to be on, just hit them up. They hop on the pod, and then like we just bang out an episode and get moving with it. So it's like, I just feel like more comfortable doing it. And I know what you mean, like that whole, like, I don't know, people just kind of shit on people for trying cool shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is very specific to us or a general thing, but I definitely know what you mean.
Yeah, it's just like...
Plus it takes so long too, right? Unless you're just like lucky or just extremely whatever. Like you're not going to get 1 million followers. So then it's just so easy for people to be like, you have 500 followers. Why are you doing this?
Exactly. Exactly. And even when I was having, and I still don't have like a massive following, but I just really enjoy kind of doing it.
Yeah, you post like every day, all the time.
Yeah.
You're always grinding out like a new workout thing, and you make it like look cool too. You're like it's not just the same content.
Right.
You'll switch up meals. You'll switch up like running versus lifting. Like you're the whole athlete.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
fair?
The idea. Yeah. Yeah, just mixing it up, finding what's...
Like, you're not a meathead, you're not a runner.
Right.
You're like...
A little of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of both. So it's cool.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I got into more recently is like that type of training with just like you do a little everything, because I like when I work out just it to be fun and stuff, and when I do like running and lifting and different types of like explosive med ball slant, like just random stuff, it just keeps it fun, and you're still, you know, ultimately making some sort of progress, whether it's in strength, endurance, or whatever. It's just kind of all around just workout type stuff.
Yeah. And that's sort of like, that's kind of the vibe that I'm trying to bring on the podcast. So like people, it's something that I'm going to like talk about a lot on like this podcast is like, I don't want people to see it and be like, oh fuck, it's some sober dude.
Yeah.
Like, I got to listen to this podcast if I want to get sober. Like, I should only listen to this. I really want to focus on the people who think I should only listen to this podcast because I'm sober. Like, what I want people to know is that it's like just all about going to try doing cool stuff. And I feel like in our culture, especially in this area of like, you know, America and everything, there's so much pressure and just, you know, society telling us like, okay, fun is this. Fun is like happy hour at 5. Oh, yeah. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Fun is like going out there and like letting loose on the weekend and stuff. But I feel like something you and me are trying to approach is that, you know, you don't have to run marathons to listen to your TikTok.
Right.
You don't have to be sober to listen to my podcasts and stuff. What you and me are trying to do is like, if you set these goals with me, to be able to set my goals, being sober was like the key to the door of like opportunity that's behind that door.
Right.
Okay. And so I'm kind of just wondering, you know, if and how sobriety might have had a part in yours. What do you think about like that key to the door thing? Or like, more importantly, I want to hear about how you think of short versus long-term gratification. Because that's something that you definitely got something to say.
Yeah,
so I'm interested in it.
Yeah, I mean, the short versus long-term gratification, and that's one of the reasons I love working out, is because like it's such a prime example for like working towards any goal in life, not just like building strength or becoming shredded or whatever, because it ingrains those principles like discipline, accountability, and all that stuff that like is at the foundation of delayed gratification, and like your long-term goal is like, as you go to the gym every day, you're building like that discipline, that accountability, and understanding that you have to put yourself through some form of like struggle or adversity in order to achieve your ultimate goal. And like for me, for sobriety and for like how I kind of, I guess, relate that into my life, like I'm technically not sober, but I was just telling Nick, like in my 4 years at college, entire 4 years at college, I went out like 5 times total. And that was just like a personal decision. It wasn't like, it was just because like Nick's saying, the short versus long term, like I know that for me, staying out late, drinking with other people and trying to like have those really stupid, silly conversations at a bar, like where you're just trying to act dumb almost to like other people's levels because everyone's, you know, drunk and everything. That for me, just one, it was not fun. And 2, I knew it was not serving me any purpose into what I wanted to achieve and set out. Fitness aside, like, yes, obviously like the next day I would probably not be able to work out. But in terms of like, you know, how I function as a human being, like if I, like my dream goal is to have my own type of fitness brand, fitness business.
Dude, plug the brand real quick. You got it started.
I did a little bit. It's kind of on hold right now. I'm working on some things and stuff, but like eventually I will kind of have a more established fitness, online coaching or personal training, some form of brand that I, you know, hope to somehow intertwine with social media and everything like that. But I knew that like when I was trying to figure things out with that drinking and stuff like that was just not a good use of my time and energy, because it wasn't just like that night, it carried over to the next day. You'd feel tired, you feel unproductive, your thoughts, you wouldn't mentally be there. And then sometimes for me,
like anxiety,
it'd be 2 days ago. Yeah, it would be 2 days after where you start feeling all this stuff that's just like an energy suck from like what you really want to set out. And like you were saying, everyone's definition of fun is going to be different, and it might change at different points in your life. Like at our point in our life, the definition of fun for a lot of people is going out to bars, drinking, meeting new people, and just having that real social kind of like atmosphere. But for us, and I think right now, like we're somewhat unique in that our definition of fun isn't necessarily rooted in that anymore. It's like it's towards like building something bigger than building a podcast, a brand, and stuff like that. That like if your more energy goes into that, that's like you feel like you're living a better life than like doing what you're supposed to do or something like that.
Yeah, and like something something that I heard you say in there is like like when you're drinking, you're like trying to act dumb and stuff. Like something that I realized when I got sober is that I can act just as fucking stupid when I was drunk. People will come up to me and be like, dude, how much have you had? The next day, they'll be like, dude, what were you doing last night? And I'll be like, yeah, I was like straight up sober the whole time.
That's
like,
hilarious.
Yeah, and dude, it goes into that other thing that you talked about where like people's idea of fun, right? Like, I think it's just as simple as just people don't even know what could be fun for them.
Yeah.
Like a new definition of fun, because so many people don't even try it. The idea of like going out and being social sober to a lot of people is just like, why would I go do this if I'm not going to drink?
Right.
Okay. So then boom, that stops you from ever experiencing that. And then, people won't even find out if they like something like a podcast simply because they won't even try. They won't try to do stand-up comedy. I mean, that was as an example of some like fucking crazy dumb shit that I did while sober.
Yeah.
But it's just, like you were saying, dude, like in our culture and stuff, like people are just afraid to like find new ways to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
People can't even comprehend that. Like when you said you only drank 5 times in 4 years of college, there are so many people that we know in our lives, dude, who would be like, dude, what is wrong with this kid?
Yeah.
They're going to think that you're the one who's got a problem and stuff.
Yeah.
And not that anyone's like really got a problem, but just automatically looking at like a lot of people, I feel like their first reaction wouldn't be good for Joe. It'd be, well, he's probably like a loner.
100%. And I actually relate with that like really hard because during, my college, which was literally, I graduated not less than a year ago. So it wasn't that long ago when I was in that phase of just like, just focusing on other shit besides like drinking and hanging out with friends and stuff like that I did feel like that way about myself. I was like, damn, like what the fuck is wrong with me? Like I should be going out tonight. I should be like, I'll be lying in my bed at 8 or 9 o'clock, ready to go to bed on Friday night. When like, it's the night to go out, whatever. And then I'll be about to go to bed and one of my friends will text me, yo, what are you doing tonight? And I'm like half asleep already. And then I see that text and I'm like, I don't answer till like the next morning and I make up some bullshit excuse like, oh, I was doing something, whatever. And in my head, I'm like, what the fuck is, like, I would always project like that I was doing something wrong because like you said, you say like, oh, you've been drinking, you went out 5 times in your college, like in your life at college, like there's something wrong with you. And I would always believe that. I would be like, shit, like, and it wasn't until recently, so I'd say within the past maybe few months where I'm like, there was nothing wrong with that. Like that was just my choice. I just had different, working towards different stuff, prioritizing different things. And I never looked at the people who went out as like, there's something wrong with them. It's just like I said, everyone has different versions of fun and everyone has different values at different times in their life. So like I said, at that point, a lot of people are valuing like their social kind of college experience. For me, I wasn't really valuing that. Maybe in like 3 years, maybe I'll value that like social type of thing and go out more or whatever. But again, it was definitely a weird experience for me because I'd also go to the gym on like Sunday morning, be there at like 7 a.m. And even some of the older guys at the gym, they'd be like, why are you here? They would ask me, they'd be like, why are you here right now? You should be like sleeping or recovering from last night, whatever you did, I'm like, yeah, whatever. So it was weird, yeah.
Okay. And you kind of, I like how you actually say that. So like, so it doesn't, I think another thing that you have to, like that I think people should understand is that you're gonna feel weird and uncomfortable and probably a little bit alone when you try to do against the grain stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, like, of course, like, when I got sober, too, dude, like, I was a lot like you.
Yeah.
I would see everyone's Snapchat stories on Friday and Saturday nights and be like, I, like, cannot go out. And so what I actually started doing, like, I would just apply, I would take the night shifts at Subway so that I would be out working until, like, 3 or 4 a.m. Not that that's very healthy, but, like, for me, in the beginning of my sobriety, like, it was a nice way for me to just escape having those, you know, that pressure to go out there and drink and stuff, because, you know, this ties back into that short and long-term gratification stuff, and really, like, something that we might not even be able to grasp in the moment, like you said. And it's like, when I was getting sober, a lot in the beginning was like, you know, is this worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Do I really need to do this? Or can I go out there and have fun on Friday and Saturday nights? Fun on Friday and Saturday nights. And now what I realized, dude, like, last night was Saturday, and I was just completely chilling, like, doing my homework. I didn't feel like bone-chilling FOMO, because you know why? I was looking forward to this podcast. I was thinking about, like, I want to get good sleep so that I can, like, go to the gym before, eat some food, and, like, rip a podcast with Bonini.
Yeah.
You and I haven't seen each other. Like, if I was out last night until 3 a.m., even if I'm sober, I would have been tired, would have probably missed the gym, and, like, would have woke up late, you know? So I think, like, you and I have both built that, because you got to go through that. I feel like you got to go through that pain a little bit of being alone to find yourself.
100%. And it's really difficult in the moment, because, like you said, when you're in the moment and you're, like, thinking a little short term, and you're like, is this gonna pay off? Is this, like, am I doing the right thing? In the moment, you have no clue. You could be right. You could be like, damn, I'm totally missing out. I'm totally doing the wrong things right now. And you won't know that for another 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you just almost have to just trust yourself and work through those really tough, lonely times. And that's kind of what, so I transferred to Villanova, like, as second semester freshman year. Then COVID happened.
Yeah, that was right at COVID.
So my first 2.5 years at Villanova, when I was, like, really looking forward to meeting new people, because my former, you know, our high school, like, everyone was off doing their own thing. So I was, like, you know, kind of alone, and I was like, all right, I'm going to look forward to meeting new people, finding a new kind of group. 2.5 years virtual, didn't meet anyone. So it's basically like senior year for me, and I have met zero people at Villanova. And so during that time, I'm, like, the loneliest I've ever been in my life, like, probably the most depressed I've ever been in my life. And it was, like, the lowest point in my life. But the thing about that is, like you said, you need to go through that almost to figure out, like, who you are as a person and what you, like, want to get. Kind of sounds corny, but, like, what you want to get out of life almost. Like, what...
I know, dude. It's like those cliches and stuff and things that we call, like, corny. Like, dude, if you really actually think about them,
they start to make sense.
Yeah, they're real. They're real.
They're real.
These corny cliches and shit are real.
Yeah.
And, like, I live by them through, like, my recovery and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff that I tell myself every single day,
100%.
dude, where it's like, this is stuff that actually will get me through it. Like, I have to live by the cliches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's crazy. And a lot of, like, my social media content during those times was kind of, like, putting out those, like, cliches almost, or trying to reword them, and, like...
I know.
And
rewording them.
Right. And, like, doing that in the process, I'm like, damn, this shit sounds really corny. But then when I put myself in, like, those situations, I'm like, or if I'm feeling, like, super low, I'm like,
it's
hard, that corny quote, like... It kind of applies right now. I see it. Like, when you're high and everything's normal and, like, you can make fun of everything, you're like, that shit's corny. But then when you're, like, actually feeling, like, fucking low, like, to the point where you just, like, you're like, I hate myself. you're like, that corny quote or whatever it is could like pick you up or like just give you the fuel you need to just keep going, you know? It's weird.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, dude. And like, I kind of had a look. I like know what you mean about like that whole like sort of like loneliness. Yeah, like sobriety, getting sober during COVID at Penn State.
Yeah,
that's kind of a combo.
Yeah,
you know, there's not a lot of people that I met who were like kind of doing what I was doing, and not to say that I did it right or like met up with the right people. Like I probably could have been a little more outgoing, but like my career at Penn State was at Penn State, COVID, getting sober, so another like sober COVID year. Then I went abroad for a year, and now I'm back at Penn State. So me too. Like I never really got a strong social connection with like kids at Penn State, but this semester, like I've sort of changed my goals a little bit. Like now I feel like I have my sobriety more under control, where I'm okay with putting myself out there now. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that like you probably like experienced a little bit, you know. Like I feel, you know, it's something that I talked about with Logan too, where it's like, it's hard. It's like, I don't want people to, I've said it like this before, but like you don't have to go in a cave and completely isolate yourself to find yourself, you know?
Yeah.
If you want to find yourself, it could be as simple as just doing those things that you're afraid of doing, you know? If you're, let's just say like really out of shape you're an example.
Yeah.
No, not that you're fucking out of shape, but I'm just saying, if somebody's out of shape, right?
Yeah.
They're probably like, oh, I never have to like work out or anything. Like I'm not that guy. Yeah. If I went to the gym, people are just going to say shit, you know, behind my back. And you know what? People probably will. Mm-hmm. But you have to like sort of build that own character development to be able to be like, I don't give a fuck what you say about me. Mm-hmm. If you want to be on my team and you're a cool person, then I'm going to respect you and we're going to be cool.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk shit about me, I'm not going to talk shit about you, maybe. Exactly. I might talk shit about you, you know, but nobody's perfect. But most importantly, I'm just going to ignore you.
Yeah.
You have to be, that's what you develop, I think. Right?
100%. I love that because, like, it's really, it comes down to just being comfortable with yourself. And when you're comfortable with yourself, you don't let petty shit even come into your, like, Gary, I don't know if you're a Gary Vee guy, but
dude, I fucking love Gary.
He always says, he's like, I'm in my fucking cocoon or whatever. I don't, whether people are saying good shit about me or bad shit about me, I don't care. I'm doing, like, he's so comfortable with who he is, what he's doing, that he's just able to.
Dude, I like that you brought up Gary Vee. Dude, I love Gary Vee.
Gary Vee is the man, and like every entrepreneur probably kind of has some sort of connect, like either opinion about him, whether they think he's too much or not enough, whatever. But no, he's awesome, and just the idea of like being comfortable with yourself, like if you can do that, and it takes like difficult times because like you're constantly worrying about the other opinion, you're constantly worrying about what you should be doing and all this stuff. But once you kind of like settle in and like figure out who you are and are just comfortable with who you are, you're able to be more, like you said, like
you can build on it too.
Yeah, build, exactly. It's not like you're like you don't just figure it out and you're done. It's like
So like for me, in terms of like building it, when I got sober, that's like the beginning of like the pyramid of, I guess, finding myself.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like I had to set that foundation. And then, you know, it took a long time where like, okay, started like getting more involved with the gym. I mean, I was out of the gym for a while, dude. I kind of like let loose a little.
Yeah.
You know, because I was just, I don't know, focused on sobriety, whatever. I didn't really find the gym again. Then it was like, okay, like now I'm going to like get my body a little bit back in shape. I'm going to like focus on diet and stuff. That was like a next building block for me that helped me. And then it was like, okay, now I want to do this podcast. Now I want to do like stand up. I want to get good grades. I want to find a job. Like you just keep building on these layers. And once you build one block, dude, the next block is kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
Like you just once you learn how to build a block, like you can just stack. Obviously, you got to watch out. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with stuff. Like that's something I feel like I have to watch out with. Is like, okay, I'm kind of backlogged on podcast episodes. I haven't really thought about my next stand up. What am I going to say? Like, does it really matter? I have to organize my job stuff and I have to organize better with school, but it's like, I'm okay with how I'm operating right now.
Right.
Because I set foundations.
Right.
So I'm wondering maybe a little bit of like what you think about this whole foundation finding.
No, I love that. Because I think you're right. Like that being sober, it doesn't define you. It opens the possibilities.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I'm sober, I made it. It's like, no, now I can do, like, I just can see more clearly and see the vision that I want, and it all stacks on,
dude, literally
on top of each other.
You can just see so much more clear when you step out of that cycle of drinking all the time. Mm-hmm. And I know there's a lot of people that don't even drink all the time, but like this message is kind of for those people that drink a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, in high school and who we know in like college and stuff, there's a lot of people where like Thursday night they're gunning for it. They're waiting for Thursday. And if you just pull yourself out of that, try to break down your FOMO bullshit a little bit.
Yeah.
You're going to see that like, oh fuck, maybe I do like art.
Yeah.
It can just be something so simple. And then through that, you can find a little more meaning in your life.
100%. Because when you do stay in that, like, in college, right? The theme is like, all right, I just got to make it through Wednesday, and then I can start drinking until Sunday. Like you start, like it's like the weekend starts on Thursday in college, and it's every night, and it's crazy. And if you keep doing,
and you
that,
keep finding like a reason, right? So
exactly.
say there's a holiday on a Monday,
right?
You're like, oh fuck, now it's 5 days.
Oh, there's a game tonight. Oh, Thursday.
And dude,
night.
I lived that.
Right.
Like, I know that. I did that. I was always that guy that was like, how the fuck can we drink Wednesday? Yeah. How can I make it sound like it so that I don't sound like an alcoholic or something? Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, and it's tough. It's tough during those moments and shit. And what I was saying is like, if you carry that throughout your whole college, you take that with you to your job or your adult life.
Facts.
Meaning like now the work you do, the job you have, is nothing more than just this menial task, this like obligation that you fucking hate, you despise. So you're looking forward to Friday once Monday hits. You're like, God, I can't, or even 5 o'clock. God, I can't wait till I'm done so I can drink at 5:30 after my shitty job. And
dude,
you get trapped.
And it's not even that, dude. There's so many things that point to that being like cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Like hating your job and looking forward to the weekend is actually, a lot of people think that's just so normal that it's actually cool to do that.
Right.
Trying is like literally not cool. Trying out something new is literally not cool.
You're right, because
it's such bullshit.
When you try, one, you're doing something different. People don't like change. They don't like different.
People don't like change, but like, dude, like built on. This is fucking America, dude.
Right. Exactly.
This is the land of change.
Exactly.
Like, get with the fucking program.
Exactly.
Change.
Yeah.
Fucking change. Yeah, man.
It's crazy.
I'm tired, dude. Like, fucking so many kids our age and shit. Like, you just see it in their face, dude. They're just like, you know, fucking meh. They're running like this.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially, I mean, Penn State...
You gotta have ups and downs, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's, like, the thing, once you kind of go outside of that norm of, you know, the static line, the classic, you know, path, whatever traditional path is, once you start to
the
deviate
static
from
line,
that...
Is that like an actual thing? The static
No,
line?
I just saw you do it.
Did you just coin static line?
No, I just saw you do it. You were like, everyone's like this.
Yeah, but then you put a word to it.
I put a word to it. So I described... Yeah.
All right. Static line.
Static
I'm going to call
line.
the episode static line.
All right. Well, the static line traditional path for most people, once you start to deviate from that, like, you get into that, you know, people are going to shit on you or like all this stuff that like it just looks weird. And I don't know how it was how it is at Penn State, but at Villanova, like it's super cliquey and it's super like traditional path. So like you go to Villanova and then you try to get a job in New York on Wall Street, whatever. And like, that's like the traditional path. And anything that's not that is like weird. And it's like,
and that affects down, dude, to so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, this could be like a whole nother podcast in itself with like, dude, like America and like the higher education system is just built to make, like, you have to get a job that gets you rich.
Right.
Or else, like, you know, you might end up fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
If you get a job that's like not going to pay a lot, then it's like, and so like, I think there's like something going on there that's kind of, you know, keeping that funnel alive.
Mm-hmm.
Because, dude, not only would like you and I be weird, like even if I go get a business job, right, and what I'm doing with like a podcast and whatever might be looked at as like weird or whatever, even though I actually get a fuck ton of support, I will say. I get a lot of support, which is good. And it's like, that's what's sort of fulfilling for me is like when somebody DMs me or like sends me a snap supporting me, like I'll save that message for when I'm like, because sometimes, dude, I'll be up late and I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, why am I doing this?
The same way, yep.
So then I'll just go back to like somebody's like snap message, see what they say. But yeah, going back to like that whole college thing, dude, it's like, if you're not taking a business major or something in college, imagine, dude, if you and I told somebody that our major was something like, I don't know, dude, in the arts or whatever,
right?
They'd be like, why are you going to college? Like, you're just wasting your money. If you're not doing like engineering, business, that. And I would say that's a pretty common theme across the world, except we just have a lot more student debt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that's got to be its whole new other podcast. We cannot get into
higher
that.
Education. There's a lot of stuff about that.
All right, let me get cozy. It's kind of like, you know, I can go like this, I can go like that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We're going to talk about money again.
Money. All right.
So I'll let you start. You said there was something that I said that you want to talk about, and then we'll see where the conversation goes.
Yeah. So there was something that you said earlier that it reminded me of something. So like the traditional path, right? It's a lot of it's about making money. Like, so you go to college and you try to get the highest paying job you can or whatever. And what I've been like, or whatever, right? What I've been seeing recently and learning recently is that if you care about making money, there's ways to make money with the things that you enjoy doing.
Yeah. So what me and Bojini are a little problem with here.
Yeah.
Our problem is, how do we fucking say this where it's not sounding like a cliche?
Exactly.
It's just like, it's so hard because it's just so true, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All those things that we heard growing up where it's, if you find something you like to do, you'll never work a day in your life. Like those things, literally, yeah, so.
No, it's like, it's kind of right on. Everyone, every adult like says that to me, like because we're in this kind of phase in life where like, kind of go into that next step of like becoming a full independent adult. So you're looking at jobs and stuff like that, and every single one says find something you love and then it won't be considered work or whatever. And so I'm sure everyone's heard that before. And when like a couple of years ago, my view on that comment was like, shut up, that's irrelevant. Like, you need a job that makes money, because how else are you going to live a good life if you don't have a good job that pays good money? And more recently, I'm kind of seeing like you can go after what you love doing, because there's so many ways to make money now that you can do what you love doing. And if you care about the money, then you will naturally figure out ways to make money with that.
Yeah, dude.
Like, you're smart enough to do it. You enjoy whatever you're doing enough to do it. So you're just like almost combining these energies and like, all right, I love making podcasts, or I love stand-up comedy. So now, how do I make money off of it? And then you start figuring it out until something takes off. But you're not just locked into like, oh, the only way to make money is this. It's like, we live in a world now where there's a billion ways to make money with anything. So it's just crazy. Yeah.
It's like, it's hard also to talk about. It's like, I mean, dude, obviously there's like, some people have so much money, some people have no money, and a lot of people are also in the middle too. But it's just, no matter where you are on that spectrum, right? Like, I get it. If you don't have a lot of money, who are you and me to tell people like, fuck money, go chase your dreams.
100%, yeah.
There's like that element of, okay, well, I need money.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck, you know, it's not easy.
No.
You're gonna have to like find a fucking way, dude, because if you're just doing something every day just for money, it's like you gotta find a way to fucking do what you want to do and have money be like a byproduct. Or even if you're in a job and stuff, you still should find something that you want to do where it's like, okay, 9 to 5 I gotta be here, but 5 to 9 I'm gonna be working on something to, you know, give me some meaning out of all of this.
Right.
Because people put too much fucking prestige on that goddamn dollar sign and that salary, you know? Even like right now I'm looking for jobs and stuff. What is the number one thing that everybody talks about every single time? Dude, I don't even, like, most of these jobs, you don't even know what you're like gonna be, like, you know what you're gonna be doing, you know what the job application is and all that stuff, but it's like at the end of the day, the stuff that people talk about with the coolness or the difference in their job, it's usually the first thing is about their salary. And it's like that those conversations won't end, you know?
Yeah.
If you get into that trap now, you're gonna keep living that life over and over and over again. And dude, something that Gary Vee says a lot that I really, really like, it's like us at 22 till 32, like we're young in that period. And you don't have to go from 0 to 100 at 22 to try to like fucking make it by 23.
Yeah.
You know, but if you at least have that mindset where it's like, I'm going to take some goddamn risks right now because there's always going to be something, dude. Bills to pay, mortgage to pay, car payment to pay, girlfriend to please, wife to please, kids to please, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, don't do this because you're looking for a promotion. Don't do that because you might switch your job now. Don't do that because you just started this new job now, you know?
Right.
Those will always be there. And actually, it's like an exponential line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your liability is going to go like that as you get older. So all those conversations that you have with yourself, we all have these conversations with ourselves, dude, where it's like, I want to do this, but nah, not yet. I just want to get there so then I can try it out.
Exactly.
But you keep on pushing that back, dude. And it's like, bruh, you're going to be like 50 and fucked.
Yeah.
Maybe not completely fucked, but like a lot more fucked than if you're 22 trying something like this.
100%.
Go fucking do something, dude.
So there's a book that I've been reading called Mastery, and it's about being able to, like, I guess almost like be the master of your own life, like basically do what you love doing and be able, like you said, money as a byproduct of that. And it doesn't have to mean you like we start a business at our age. What it kind of means is like, what do you like doing? So if you're more into like arts, or if you're more, even if you're a math guy and you're into finance and that's like your thing, right? What you kind of do, if you have like that good idea of like what my ultimate goal is, what my dream job is or dream business is you kind of just start going in that direction. And the like, so you start working and surrounding yourself with people in that industry or in that field. So if you're like, man, podcasts, like I want this podcast to have millions of subscribers and stuff. You start, obviously you've done the first step, which is make the podcast. And then now you start like kind of surrounding yourself with people who are doing that as well. And then like, even if there's a job opportunity in the next couple of years of like, you know, having some role on like one of the big podcasts that's already out there, taking that and using that as like a learning experience and getting all this stuff. And while you're doing this, you're also making money because it's you know, you kind of going in this career path. So they're paying you and you're able to do this on the side. And just like it all kind of comes together. So like your career, your passion projects and all this stuff is like blending. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with myself. But like that's kind of what the book is about, is like trying to set yourself up into that direction where you can make a living out of this. Like it might mean like that first, you know, job or whatever. Like it might not be the most exciting thing in the world, dude, but it's making you money and putting you in that direction.
Yeah. And like not only like that first job is like low prestige, like dude, you're in our shit that we're trying to do, you're going to do a lot of stuff for free.
Oh, yeah.
Because the first and most important thing always in all of this is, like, your connections.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yes, your content and all that actually is probably number one. But in terms of, like, career building and stuff, it's all about who you know and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get to know people if you're like, you got to pay me $50 to do this. Like, you're going to do a lot of stuff for free. And you know what? You would actually enjoy that stuff.
Right.
If you have to work to be able to sustain being able to do that stuff for free, watch, dude. Like, one day it's gonna work out eventually.
Yeah. I mean, in the past 3 months to that point, I've been working with someone, he's got a pretty good established, like, fitness coaching, online coaching, in-person coaching. I've been kind of under his wing, just learning tons of stuff from a fitness and business perspective. He hasn't paid me. I've been writing workout programs, creating a lot of his content, all of this stuff for free. And I'm not, like, mad about, like, not being paid for him, because I know, one, it's helping him out. And if his business is growing because of what I'm doing, I'm also growing because I'm part of that business.
Yeah,
and
right.
I just enjoy doing those things. Like, he'll tell me to, write an 8-week program with this, this, and this in it. I'll get on it, and, like, the stuff I learned from doing it, and the homework that I do, like, for that is, like, teaching me a lot, like, from an educational standpoint. And it's also just stuff that, like, I enjoy doing.
Yeah,
and so it doesn't bother me that, like, I haven't made, like, a dollar from it, but it's just, like, the stuff that, like you said, you just enjoy doing. It doesn't feel like work, and you would hope that it's going to pay off in the future. Don't know for sure, but that long-term gratification type thing.
You got to take that risk, dude.
You got to take it. Yeah.
You got to take the risk.
And it's tough, especially at our age and in our culture, to, like, do stuff for free. Because, like, one, you really might need money.
Bro, do stuff.
Yeah.
Already people are like, red flag.
Yeah, exactly.
Let alone do stuff for free.
It's like, dude. It's like, well, how much are you going to pay me? It's like, well, we have to understand our role. Like, we're 20, 22 years old. To people who are above us, like, in terms of age, we're not shit to them. Like, they're thinking, why should we even pay you why should we even consider paying you? It's like, we kind of have, I don't know if this is our generation or millennials or whatever, but we have this, like, this notion that, like, we should be paid so much for our time because we're so valuable. And it's crazy to think, because, like, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, we haven't done shit. We haven't done shit in terms of, like, work experience. And we've done a lot, obviously, with, like, our life and stuff like that. But, like, in terms of, like, professionalism and professional world, it's like, pay me this much money. It's like, well, this is your first job. You haven't even done this. I'll just hire them for cheaper because they'll accept, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of have to build that credibility and that experience and stuff.
Yeah. Most importantly, though, you got to take that fucking risk.
Oh, 100%.
Because one day we're going to be dead. And hopefully we're, like, you know, like, we're going to be able to, like, think back on our lives and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm an old dude, I want to look back at my life. And you know what? Whenever I die, I want to be able to look back and be like, fuck that. I went out and did shit.
Yeah.
I put it on the goddamn line, you know?
Yeah.
I was not a passenger.
Exactly.
We're not going to be passengers.
No way.
Let's fucking get this shit, Bonini.
Not the static line.
Not the static line. Yeah, give him a quick little flex for the one. Yeah, that'll probably be the thumbnail.
Thumbnail.
Alright, that's about
That
it.
was good. Good shit. Yes. Let's do it again.
Oh, wait, hold up.
Got it. Still got it.